Hey, hello, welcome. Hello, Hod. Hey, hello, Vinit. Welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, good, and you?
Good, thanks. Thanks.
Great. Yeah, we start the second session, second lap of Melbourne Cloud Native speedrun. This is the Bytes Cloud Native meetup, kind of online. Really help. I hope that everyone enjoy this kind of event. Like the first one that we had. Hey, hello, Henry. Welcome.
Hi, Thiago. How are you?
Yeah, all good. Busy weekend.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Very productive weekend.
yeah, indeed.
How did
Almost.
you talk out at DDD?
Yeah, the talk on DDD was really interesting. I was my first conference talk. What I got the most from that is that okay, I could do and deliver the talk, but the feedback that I received that I could inspire and kind of motivate more people. That was really rewarding. So that's the best part. The talk itself, I got a little nervous by the end of the talk. I was like maybe the time pressure. I started well, but but yeah, for the first experience was really good. I gained a lot of experience in preparing for giving more talks and more technical maybe in the future. Thank you. Hey, Sobam, welcome. Alessandro,
Hello.
hello, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks, Thiago.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm really happy to see people joining for this online event, and let's hope that we can keep it growing with this. I'm planning maybe in-person event for August. I know that it is still 5 months from now, but there is one main maintainer for Postgres operator on Kubernetes, that it is a project, and he's coming from Italy, I believe, to Melbourne. So I'm planning to do an online, or not online, in-person event. Okay, without further ado, should we start? Let me share my screen. Okay, just to confirm, people can see my screen.
Yes, I can see the screen.
You see Kepler? Yep. Cool. Okay, so the talk today will be about Kepler. It'll be quite not just about Kepler, but also the sustainability in the cloud native environment. And this presentation explore how we can leverage the cloud native technologies to address this challenge that is becoming more challenging. Okay, so let's start. Yeah, so just a little recap. This month we are talking about the eBPF. So if you don't know exactly what it is, eBPF, I will not go too deep on that today. We have the presentation from the previous session. I invite you to take a look on YouTube. It's recorded. So the sustainability imperative. Well, we live in, I believe everybody see the news. Everybody know that sustainability is being there for a while now. It's the thing that people are paying attention, and the industry as the IT industry as a whole is also contributing for the environment impact. If we consider the global electricity consumption, just the AI data center and communication network represents about 2 to 3%. And you may think that this is a small number, but this is almost the same as the aviation industry. So it's quite a lot. And due to the invention of this AI and all the cryptocurrencies things that we are doing today, this energy consumptions may double in the future 2 or 3 years. So this is really important to mention, and how we can address this, right? How we should address this. So companies are using ESG requirements to address this. So should consider as important. Another thing is this as LLMs. AI has been the thing for the past 2 years or so, or 3 years, at least for the mainstream. And they have these two phases, right? We have the training and the inference part of the AI. Just for training models, the energy consumption is being growing quite fast. So you have an idea of the scale. The GPT-3 was built using 1,300 megawatt hours, and the GPT-4 was 50 times more than that. And you can imagine that every new model that is coming out is, if we keep using this, put more computer hours to get more results, we are just scaling up the consumption. But this is just one part, right? It's just to train the model to achieve that level. The second part is that once people start using the model is the inference part. And now that we are using AI more than probably almost the same as Google, imagine Google is trillions of research every day. And if people start using AI at the same pace that they use in Google, the energy consumption can be the same as the Ireland annually. So this is a really big thing, and how we can address this. So cloud native naturally is sustainable in a way, okay? Not that it is sustainable from out the box, but the idea of the cloud native architecture, building microservices and also using orchestration, is that we plan to use the resources the most efficient way as possible. So if you take containerizations, the idea of containers is that you don't need to have the whole machine. You can have a system, just a small part of the lightweight and isolate environment to run the application. And also when you have, especially nowadays that we can use serverless or scale to zero, when you are not using that application, we can stop using and free the resource to be used for another thing. So cloud native can it have an important role in the sustainability. And then we can talk about what is the topic of today, that it is the eBPF. How can eBPF help in this case? So eBPF itself is not helping for the sustainability, but the eBPF, the technology that can be run a program in the kernel to be a structure as an observer for observability and metrics directly from the kernel, has a really good point, because since it is in the kernel close to the machine, it has a little overhead. That means it also consumes less energy to do the observation. And because it is in the kernel, it can see process or all the process that it is happening either in the machine or in the VM. Okay, so more about the eBPF, I really invite you to take a look on the previous session. And the tool that we're going to talk today is the Kepler. Kepler, it is more exporter for these metrics. Okay, today is a CNCF sandbox project, and it uses eBPF to collect and analyze the metrics. So here we have a kind of 3 ways that you can use Kepler. So Kepler, it gets the metrics of energy consumption. If it is from the bare metal, it can have some sensors directly related to the power consumptions. But if it is in the VM, it is using more model that we will discuss a little bit later. It's training for how many of the process is using this CPU to kind of infer how much is power consumption for that. And then you have the pass-through from the VMs is that some if you can install Kepler in the machine itself, it can get more information related to the VM environment. Okay. Maybe a bit confusing. Just to understand it a little more, I will go to the components of Kepler. So this is the base architecture of the Kepler itself. We have on the left side the eBPF program. So the eBPF program is where it will be running and taking the trace points in the kernel to do the observability. And then it will send this metrics to a container or to the application of Kepler that will listen to this and basically generate through a model what it is the energy consumption, and then sending this information to Prometheus that can be seen in the Grafana. So just to recap a little bit, so Kepler itself is not the kernel itself do not give you percentage or power consumption. It gives you information about the process and what is being used in that time. So what Kepler try to achieve is creating machine learning model or a simple regression to divide this process into and map this process to the containers or the process that it is running and give you information. Okay, if this container is using 30% of the CPU, so probably this container is also using 30% of the energy. Okay, but there is a little more complex than that. That is the model itself, and the model is another part of the architecture. Is another component that it can be trained to so it can be trained to predict how much or to estimate how much energy that it is using. Okay, yeah. So, and all of this is important because once you can train the model, suppose, just let me go back to here. Suppose that you have this situation of the first in here you have access to the metrics, and then you can create a ratio power model, and then create the power consumptions, and then give you the parameters. So you can train the model here with the most precise information on the power. But when you go to the second part here, that it is just the estimated, you can use this training model that you trained in a different environment to predict what is going to be the power consumption. This is why they need to have a model to train to give you the more close estimator of the power consumption. And then you can have the visibility, the optimization, and the saving, because once you have everything is data, right? So once you have data, you can take better decisions. So with all these consumptions information of each pod, either container, and then each node, you can take decisions on how you will optimize the resources and the right size of the workload itself. This is why it's important, because if you not, there is these maximums that if you do not measure, you cannot control. So you need to measure first, then to take measures to control. So towards to sustainability cloud native AI, so control and measure is one thing, but we have different other approaches that we can use to use the energy in a more efficient manner. One of these I found interesting during my research is the model quantization. So it's a way that you can reduce the model and also the computational demand that the model use, and keeping the same accuracy and performance. So I don't know how many of you have used Olama or trying to run models locally. If you go to Hugging Face, you have the quantized model as well. But that's why that model has a queue in the end, queue, that means that it was quantized. And this is really helpful to use less resources. Also, we don't need to use the big model for everything. We don't need to use the latest O3 or R1, any model that it is huge, if our task is not demanding for that. So trying to find the best model for the task is sometimes important in the sense of sustainability. Okay, we also have the VLLMs and the GPU power management that also can be used. So basically is that today. I will invite you to take a look on the Kepler project. It will be in the references here, and also join the it's the technical adversary group for environment sustainability on the CNCF. And learn more projects, because Kepler is just one of the projects is the sustainability, and I highlighted this project because it was using eBPF, but there are other projects that focus on the sustainability and the carbon emission in the cloud native environments. So here we have some references. I will send the slides in the end. And this is it. Any questions? Let's discuss a little bit. What do you think about sustainability in the cloud environment? So maybe if you are asking how to use the Kepler, they have one Helm chart that you can install in your cluster. You may need to have the Prometheus as well and Grafana, and they provide the Grafana dashboard as well. In just take a look on the graphics. So the model, the model is important that you can use the pre-training models, but depends on your workload. You may train the model to achieve better results for your workload and also for your kind of cloud, right? If you're using public cloud or you are self-hosted as well. Hey, listen, oh, thank you. Yeah, the tag is going to refreshing. Yeah, that's true. Proof of concept has done. Yes, they have some papers, I believe in. Let me share the references here. Let me get you one of these. So what they have done, I believe, was from IBM. IBM was one of the supporters or the leaders of the Kepler project. And they have some resources on applications using Kepler. This one here is one kind of long one, but they mention Kepler and how they implement that. You can see the proof of concept. If any other questions, it's open for what we're gonna do on the next session. I have a proposal, but if anyone wants to join and to discuss, because I'm presenting the second time that I'm presenting, it's really nice to go and do all this research on the topic. And for myself, I can learn a lot. But I invite you to contribute as well if you want to. So I believe the next session will be also a little bit on eBPF and debugging on Kubernetes. So how we can debug. Let me just get the next event. And please give any feedback on how is this event, what you are found out about it. You may find ways to improve. So who is here from? I believe almost everyone. Alessandro, are you from Melbourne as well?
No, actually, I'm from Amsterdam.
Oh,
So it's
okay.
9 in the morning here.
I see.
I do love Australia, but
Good morning. Yeah, it's
yeah.
almost the end of the.
Good evening to you guys.
Yes, thank you. I see. Yeah, thank you for joining.
And yeah, because I saw it. It's one of my favorite topics, of course, because I was involved in the tag environmental sustainability for the last year. We organized the sustainability week, and of course, Kepler is one of the project under the tag. Unfortunately, the tag is gonna change, so but not what we do. It's just gonna be a different name and different way of organizing, but we're still gonna really much double down on sustainability. So stay tuned, and I think there's gonna be a lot of opportunities for leadership. People like you that want to contribute will make it even better to join the efforts of the community of CNCF around sustainability.
Cool. That's really amazing. Thank you for joining today. And yeah, I really want to know more when they make changes. I also am part of the tag on security here in the APEC time, and I heard about the upcoming changes that are coming. So looking forward. I believe
In
it's for
London.
the better.
Yeah, so at KubeCon London, if you ever gonna be there, we have the Maintainer Summit on the Monday of KubeCon,
Yes.
and the TOC will be there, and we're gonna probably finalize it there. So stay tuned. It's a few more weeks, and then we know. But doesn't stop people to contribute and to work on what we love, which is sustainability, of course.
Yes, great. Yeah, so please join as well who is listening. And
Do you have any recommendations, Alessandro, for people in Australia looking to get involved in the sustainability tag and where you're needing help?
Yeah. So far, of course, it's an open group, so we organize weekly meetings. Unfortunately, of course, we try to accommodate all time zones, but because we didn't have anyone from the Asia APAC time zone, we were doing them at a time that is convenient for both EMEA and US. But it's all about interest. If you say that, hey, we really want to contribute and we want to have our own meeting in our own time zone, that's very possible. That's totally, we want to be inclusive of everybody, but of course, time zones are a bit tricky, and there are other groups. They organize multiple meetings, or sometimes every other week they switch time zone, so we can accommodate everybody. We want to be inclusive, so we want to make sure that everybody's feeling like they can contribute without staying up all night or wake up at incredible hours.
Yeah, it's good. And I think there's plenty of tags that are introducing kind of different hours to cover for around the world. I was just thinking from a sustainability tag specifically, what kind of contributions are you looking for at the moment? Like, what are the challenges that you've got that you need some help with?
So there are working groups. There's a working group green reviews, and there are other working groups that more focus on the communication, so writing blog posts or reviewing CNCL projects, giving them like a score or like a analysis of their environmental impact. We've done so far 2, probably 3 projects, and there could be more, right? So there are of course channels on Slack. You can come there, but we need more people. Now with the reshuffling, the tag as we know it will stop existing. We're gonna convert to probably community groups or working groups. Kind of we gotta see what's gonna happen, but what never changes the need for more discussions and more participation.
Yeah. Regardless of how the organizational structure is, there's always need for people to do the work. So yeah.
So
hopefully that helps
so
any of
you
the
know,
local members who are interested in contributing.
always looking for people that they can. So
Yeah, great. Yeah, I believe this is a first time that we are doing a bit of environment sustainability here. And as a chapter organizer here from Melbourne and also in the Oceania area, I believe we can find more people to contribute as well. I mentioned this event in the DDD, people from different communities also got interested. I believe there is a lot of things to be done in this space and a lot of hands to help as well. Okay, so maybe we can. Do you have any other project besides Kepler that you would like to see we talking about, Listen?
yeah, there's another one done by also it's called Kate. Let me find it. Kate. I'll drop the link, but it's a new project that is done by local people that also contribute to Zag, and I'll just have to find the link and I'll drop it in the chat for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
It's also based on Kepler. It's all about there are it's a project also includes observability. It's pretty cool. Heat, Kubernetes emission insights.
Okay, thank you.
Gotta go, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good
Okay,
day.
thank you. Yeah, have a nice. Thank you. Yeah, we'll be closing for today, and the next event will be in DevX, development experience using Inspektor Gadget and MirrorD. I will try to condense again in this short version, and I hope to see you in these 2 weeks or in another event in person too. Okay, see ya. Bye.
Thanks, Thiago.
Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye bye.